Hey everyone, today we're exploring another chilling and disturbing case. If you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay engaged. It really means a lot. I truly appreciate it. Now, take a deep breath and let's dive in. When wealthy entrepreneur Nathan Cole left a hotel room 3 years ago, he believed the woman he had just spent the night with was nothing more than a fleeting, passionate mistake. He never got her last name. He never saw her again, until a chance encounter 3 years later in a grocery store parking lot shattered his entire world. She stood there, holding the hands of two toddlers, two boys with the same icy blue eyes, the same dimpled smile, the same face he saw every morning in the mirror. But what began as a stunning revelation of unexpected fatherhood would soon unravel into a dark web of betrayal, deception, greed, and murder, because the woman he once loved wasn't just hiding a secret, she was hiding a plan. In April 2024, Clayton Rivers, a small-town contractor, was found dead in his car on a quiet back road in Georgia. The official cause? Carbon monoxide poisoning. The case? Closed. But investigators missed one detail. The woman who claimed to be his grieving girlfriend had used a fake name, and she had just collected a $1.2 million life insurance payout. Clayton wasn't her first partner to die under strange circumstances. In 2018, a young pastor named Raymond Hastings, her husband at the time, was found unresponsive in their home. His death was ruled a suicide by insulin overdose. She collected $400,000. Now Clayton was dead, and the woman behind both tragedies was back, this time in the life of billionaire tech mogul Nathan Cole. She called herself Lila Hart, a soft-spoken bartender with a tragic past. But her real name was Allison Vera Hastings, and beneath her quiet charm was a trail of aliases, dead lovers, and cash payoffs. She vanished after a one-night stand with Nathan Cole in 2021. No contact, no clues, until 3 years later, he found her outside a grocery store with two boys who mirrored his every feature. Nathan demanded a paternity test. The results? 99.9% match. He was a father of twins he never knew existed. He brought them into his life, moved her into his estate, hired a private investigator to learn the truth. And what he uncovered was horrifying. Lila had fake names, staged grief, and walked away with nearly $2 million in life insurance payouts from two suspicious deaths. And both men had one thing in common. They trusted her. One night, Nathan collapsed after drinking his nightly herbal tea. Doctors found traces of a rare paralytic, used in animal tranquilizers. He survived barely. The only fingerprints on the cup were hers. Lila was arrested, but when authorities searched her belongings, they found a locked flash drive hidden inside a children's toy. What they found inside wasn't just evidence, it was a list. Names, dates, policy numbers, and at the very bottom, Nathan Cole's name, with the word final written next to it. FBI forensic analysts decrypted the flash drive and discovered something even veteran agents call deeply disturbing. Inside were folders labeled by city, year, and male names, each attached to scanned insurance documents, romantic photos, handwritten love notes, and death certificates. The list included 6 men, for confirmed dead, 2 still missing. All had one thing in common. Alice and Lila Hart had either dated, married, or lived with them shortly before they disappeared or died, and every one of them had listed her as a life insurance beneficiary. But the most chilling discovery was this. Several of the insurance claims had been processed abnormally fast, without standard verification checks, and they all passed through one person. His name was Greg Tolson, a former claims adjuster who left his job abruptly in 2023. And guess what? He and Lila had once attended the same Bible college in Little Rock, Arkansas, back in 2010. Coincidence? The FBI didn't think so. Agents tracked Greg to a remote cabin in northern Tennessee. Surveillance revealed a man living off-grid. No phone, no bank cards, no social media. But what they found hidden in a locked trunk beneath his bed was damning. Inside, a burner phone with text from LH dating back 4 years. Phrases like, same plan, same rules, and policy goes in tomorrow, he suspects nothing. They weren't just partners, they were predators. But the most heartbreaking discovery of all, evidence suggests the twins may have been part of the plan all along. Photos found on Lila's cloud backup showed staged images, birthday parties, father-son moments, clearly timed to manipulate Nathan emotionally. One therapist working with the children now believes they were coached to call Nathan Daddy, even though they'd never heard of him before that day in the parking lot. Just as the FBI was preparing to arrest Greg Tolson, they received a tip from a former co-worker, and something terrifying came to light. Greg had spoken about a next target, a woman this time, a wealthy widow in Texas, and according to the files, Lila had already taken flight there 2 years ago, under yet another name. But then, just 24 hours before agents arrived to arrest him, Greg Tolson vanished. His cabin? Empty. No fingerprints. No signs of struggle. The only thing left behind was a note. 4 words, written in red ink on a bathroom mirror. She always finds me. On the encrypted flash drive recovered from Lila's belongings, FBI analysts found a file labeled June 2022, Odessa. It contained documents linked to a 68-year-old woman named Lorraine McIntyre, a retired oil heiress and recent widow living in West Texas. She'd reportedly become friends with a caregiver named Eliza Hampton, a sweet, helpful nurse who came into her life just months after her husband's death. But here's the catch. Eliza Hampton doesn't exist. Fingerprint records show it was Lila, using a new identity. In July 2022, Lorraine died in her sleep. The cause, natural causes. But now, under scrutiny, it's looking anything but natural. A confidential informant inside the nursing staff revealed that Lorraine had grown paranoid in her final weeks, claiming that Eliza was giving her pills she didn't recognize and that she feared she was being poisoned. But by the time her family took her seriously, she was already gone. Just like the others, a life insurance policy had been updated, and just like the others, Lila was named a beneficiary under a fake name. But here's where it gets even darker. Greg Tolson's burner phone pinged off a cell tower less than 2 miles from Lorraine's home, just days before her death. As authorities closed and Greg Tolson fled, cameras caught him boarding a Greyhound bus to Atlanta, but somewhere between 2 rest stops, he vanished. His seat was empty, his bag left behind. Inside the bag, a notebook, and in the final pages, a chilling entry. She's not done. She always has one more name, one more plan, and if she thinks I'll talk, she'll find me. She always finds me. But just as investigators prepare to label Greg Tolson a fugitive, a new twist changed everything. A DNA database flagged an unexpected match. A child in Arizona, recently adopted after being abandoned at a fire station. The child was biologically related to both Greg Tolson and Allison Hastings. They had a child together, and no one knew. Now, the FBI believes Greg didn't run, he was taken. And if Allison Hastings has hidden a 3rd child, it means her crimes might not just be about money. They might be part of a much more twisted game. The discovery came from an unexpected source, a volunteer-run genealogy project. When a routine DNA upload hit on a match between the abandoned infant and known samples from Greg Tolson and Allison Hastings, alarms went off. The child, a girl just over 1 year old, had been left outside a fire station in Phoenix. No note, no ID, no fingerprints. But hospital records confirmed what the FBI feared. The baby had been born prematurely to a woman using a false name, Bethany Grace. Security footage from that hospital? Unavailable. Surveillance had mysteriously failed that night. A week after Greg's disappearance, a burner phone registered to one of his aliases was found in a dumpster outside a diner in Kentucky. On it, a single save voicemail. Recording plays. If something happens to me, look in the old safety box. She said she'd never touched the kid, but I don't believe her anymore. She's spiraling. I think she wants the world to burn with her. The message confirmed 2 things. Greg feared for his life, and fear for the child even more. Following Greg's clue, FBI agents tracked down an unused safety deposit box in St. Louis under the alias Stephen R., Phelps, a name connected to Greg. Inside the box were three things: a forged passport for Allison Hastings under a new identity, Diana Cole, a letter handwritten by Greg detailing her manipulation of each victim, a USB drive labeled the exit plan. On the USB, emails, financial transfers, and most disturbingly, a wire transfer request for $250,000 to a human smuggling contact in Colombia. It was dated 1 week before her arrest. According to a consulting profiler, Lila's entire criminal pattern was built around seduction, dependency, and destruction. But the secret child changes everything. Psychologist, she didn't just abandon the child. She staged the abandonment. It was calculated. It was meant to disappear into the system until she needed it again. That baby may have been her backup plan or her bargaining chip. In late June, a tip led FBI agents to a remote safe house outside El Paso, Texas. Burned receipts, children's clothing, and a baby blanket with the same initials as the Arizona child were found. But there was no sign of Greg or the baby. And just as agents prepared to close down the site, a message was found scrawled behind a mirror, written in what appeared to be lipstick. She's not the only one. Does this mean there's another accomplice? Another Lila? Or could Lila have been just one part of something much bigger all along? Inside the El Paso safe house, authorities discovered what looked like a diary, heavily coded. It was filled with strange phrases, clipped news articles, and initials scrawled over and over. The title on the inside cover? Red Thread Circle, Initiation Level 3. Investigators at first believed it was fiction, but further analysis suggested something far more disturbing. A real-life sisterhood built on seduction, manipulation, and death. The Red Thread Circle appears to be a secretive group of women, primarily operating under fake identities, who infiltrate wealthy or powerful men's lives. But their endgame isn't always money. Sometimes it's about power or destruction. Former culty programmer Dr. Elaine Bricks was brought in to review the material. Dr. Bricks' voiceover. What we're seeing is organized psychological warfare, targeted, gender-based manipulation that mimics cult initiation rites. These women are recruited young, trained in psychological tactics, and assigned roles. Lila, aka Allison, was likely one of the best. In cross-referencing names from a flash drive, the FBI discovered 3 more women, each with eerily similar patterns. One in Nevada, who married a casino boss who died under suspicious circumstances. She vanished days before the funeral. One in South Carolina, who dated a police chief for months. He was later found shot with his own service weapon. And one in Colorado, who posed as a spiritual healer before her client died of a supposed overdose. She disappeared without a trace. All used fake names. All were briefly in contact with Lila via encrypted messaging platforms. None have been caught. Then, in a dramatic turn, an anonymous woman reached out to a true crime podcast host in Utah. She claimed to be a former Red Thread recruit. Voicemail, distorted voice. It's not just Lila. There are more. They target men they think deserve to fall. CEOs, cops, pastors. It's like a twisted Robin Hood fantasy. But sometimes they don't stop at justice. She promised to meet with FBI agents, but vanished the night before the meeting. 2 days later, hikers found a duffel bag in the Arizona desert. Inside, blood-stained clothing, a single baby shoe, and a copy of Lila's forged passport under yet another alias. But here's the twist. This passport wasn't made recently. It was issued in 2016, meaning Lila had been living double lives years before her known timeline. And just when authorities thought the trail had gone cold, an email was sent directly to the FBI's case agent. No subject line, no body text. Just an attachment, a live photo of the secret child being held by a woman whose face was partially obscured. The file name? You're too late. FBI forensic experts examined the image metadata. It was taken just 17 hours before it was received, using an iPhone 13 Pro registered in Ecuador. But the most disturbing part? In the background, partially visible on a mirror, was Greg Tolson. Unmoving, eyes closed, and behind him, what appeared to be a rope around his neck. Just as panic gripped the task force, a major break came from Denver. Under intense pressure, one suspected red threat operative, known for dating a prominent politician who later accidentally overdosed, was arrested for fraud, and after 36 hours of interrogation, she broke. That was the first time investigators heard the name, the Seer. On the recovered flash drive from Part 2, one folder remained encrypted until now. It contained a spreadsheet labeled redmap.xlsx. It detailed properties rented under shell corporations. Locations stretched from Oregon to Texas to Panama. Some of them had already been cleared, but 2 addresses were still active. A beachfront condo in Galapagos Islands, Ecuador. A storage unit in rural Kansas. Authorities split up, one team heading south, the other to the Midwest. At the Kansas location, what agents found was shocking. Dozens of boxes containing forged documents, burner phones, ritualistic drawings, and one file labeled Doctrine of the Seer. In it, detailed guidelines about seduction, manipulation, and sacrifice. But most importantly, there was a name, Genevieve Callan, a former psychologist who lost her license in 2009 after being linked to the deaths of 2 therapy clients. She vanished shortly after, and her passport photo, a match to the obscured woman holding the baby in the email photo. Interpol, in coordination with the FBI, launched Operation Red Tide, a full raid on the condo in the Galapagos. Inside, they found evidence of recent habitation: baby formula, women's clothing, bloodstained towels, and a journal written in Allison Hastings' handwriting. But there was no child, no woman, no Greg. But as agents scoured the final room, they found something chilling. A photo nailed to the wall with a kitchen knife. A family portrait of Nathan Cole, Lila, and the twins, taken weeks before the attempted poisoning. Across it, written in red marker, were 3 words. He's next again. The target was clear: Nathan Cole, the billionaire who had unknowingly fathered twins with Lila and narrowly survived her earlier attempt on his life. He was relocated to a secure FBI safe house. Surveillance teams monitored every move, but they were already too late. A package arrived at Nathan's former estate. No return address. Inside, a doll, handmade, stuffed with old newspaper. Its face was stitched to resemble a man in a suit, pinned to its chest, a needle, and a note that read, "You were always just a rehearsal." On July 1st, for exactly 2 minutes and 19 seconds, the surveillance cameras outside Nathan's safe house went dark. When the feed resumed, the front gate was ajar. Nothing appeared stolen, nothing disturbed, until Nathan woke the next morning to find his children's bedroom door wide open. The twins were still there, unharmed, but taped to the inside of the closet door was a Polaroid. It showed Greg Tolson dead. A burner phone was discovered inside a plush toy near the twins' dresser. The phone had one saved voicemail. No number, just a distorted voice. The Seer modulated voice. It was never about money. It was about balance. Justice. Lila lost control, but I won't. Your children are beautiful, innocent, untouched. Keep them that way, or I'll send another. Just days after the incident, a genealogy website flagged another match, a child in foster care in Seattle, also genetically linked to Lila. It appears she had multiple children, all potentially used as emotional leverage, part of her long-term psychological warfare. The FBI has issued an international warrant for Genevieve Callan, aka the Seer, but her current whereabouts remain unknown. Authorities believe she operates under at least 5 aliases and uses cosmetic surgery to obscure her identity. Lila Hart remains in federal custody, refusing to speak. She has been placed on suicide watch after attempting to overdose using a sharpened toothbrush soaked in cleaning chemicals. 3 days after the safe house breach, one of Nathan's twins handed a drawing to a visiting agent, crayon on paper. It showed a woman with long red hair, standing outside a window, smiling, watching them sleep. When asked who she was, the child said something that sent chills down the entire room. "That's Mommy's friend. She comes at night to make sure we're still good." Clapperboard this was the true story of the Red Thread Circle, the women who seduced, stole, and killed in the name of justice or vengeance, a web of death spun in silence, and sealed with lipstick lies and legacy. Many of the names in this story have been changed to protect surviving victims. Some details remain sealed under federal investigation. But one thing is certain, the seer is still out there, and someone else may already be marked. What are your thoughts on this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with more stories, where each case isn't just about crime, but also offers a lesson for life.